Few solo artists in the last few years have been so heavily discussed as Mark William Lewis. As the first signee on the A24 music imprint, he's released an extraordinary self-titled album that only further contextualizes his already impressive catalogue. I caught up with Mark ahead of his Sydney headline show to chat influences, individuality of vision, and more. Mark William Lewis.
How you doing? Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Mark, for anyone who isn't familiar with you or your music, could you just introduce yourself?
My name's Mark William Lewis. I'm a musician from London. Been self-releasing under this name which is my name, since like 2019, I think. I released an album last year and been touring a lot since then, and also before then. But yeah, I've got a band. There's 4 of us, with some of my best friends, and that's what we do live.
Well, your work's got a bit of everything in it, and I hesitate to try and classify you in a particular genre. When people ask the style of music you make, how do you describe that to them?
Well, I don't want to give the really annoying answer and be like, I don't believe in genre, but that is kind of what I think. But no, I just say I play guitar and drums, and it's vocals and harmonica, and it's that kind of music. So, but yeah, I think what you said is true. Maybe that in the range of, I guess indie rock is what I would, if push came to shove. But I suppose it is quite broad within that, and I think there are maybe elements that you wouldn't necessarily always find as well. And I don't know, but yeah, like I do think my honest answer is that I think it was quite an important moment for me when I stopped caring, and just did stuff that I liked and felt good and felt real, felt honest or whatever.
In terms of sonically, it opened doors for you?
Sonically, lyrically, emotionally, just sense of play, like no limitations. I think if you go into something thinking I'm in this lane, then you're already going into any kind of creative endeavor or creative environment or collaboration with lanes and limits, and we've all got those probably, or we've all got intuition and sense of what we like and our musical background. And it's all in there anyway, so don't be too conscious of it. Just let it flow, and then it will probably come out sounding like or sounding like a combination of music you like or whatever, so.
You said you've been self-releasing under your name since 2019.
I think that's right, yeah.
But you are also the first signee to A24 Music.
Yeah.
What's the experience been like being the first musical artist signed to such a well-established creative studio?
My responsibility is sort of to myself and my music and the people I work with. So I try not to think, now that's happened, I need to do this, because I think that would be detrimental for everyone. But honestly, mostly just aside from whatever cultural thing that means, it's just enabling me to do stuff like this, like to be in Australia with 4 of us doing a headline tour. Like, I'm not sure that might not have been possible without the support and without the I don't know, wider distribution or whatever.
Yeah,
press. I don't want to go into the whole
indie. But it sounds like
indie-verse,
it sounds like a very symbiotic thing. In that it doesn't sound like it's at all creatively limited you.
No, not at all. I mean, firstly, I'd made the album that they released before I'd heard that they were interested. So it was already made. But I knew I got to the point where I think to do what I really want to do, which is like tour the world, which is what I'm starting to do now. It's like I knew I wanted to sign a deal and have be able to do things like this. So and then it being A24 was obviously interesting, but it was mostly just that they were like really supportive and really into the music and committed, to be honest, because a lot of labels will dance around it until it's like too late. I just got a good feeling from the people that I work with, and it's been good. But at the same time, no one wants to be known for their label. Like there's a few labels that I follow and I I'm interested in historically, but in general, I don't really care about the label. I care about the the artist
What's
and
on it?
the
Yeah,
music.
exactly.
Yeah, same with art. Like I don't care about the gallery. I care about the artist. So yeah.
That's a great analogy. Yeah, you must. You'll have to forgive me. You must get tired of being asked about that.
No, it's inevitable. It's obviously changed things. It's been cool, and like I wouldn't have. I know it's interesting to me too, and it's been cool.
Yeah,
It's been great. Yeah.
To look back on some of the early days, at least of the released music of yours that I'm familiar with, your, as far as I know, debut EP, Pleasure is Everything.
Yeah.
That was released 4 years ago now.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a piece of work that I feel, my understanding of it's been enriched with time and also with the context of this self-titled album that you've put out. What's your relationship to your earlier work 4 years on?
I'm very proud of it. I spent a long time figuring out, I suppose, the nuts and bolts of like, I guess, production and how to finish music, but also I think just being like confident enough to like just put it out and be like, and in the end that EP came together like so quickly. I just moved house and it was, I guess, coming out of COVID at the time, and a lot of things were changing in my life, and like I was playing in a few different bands, and we, starting to play more shows again after COVID. And I was like, I just made that EP in about a month, like, and
Wow.
it was but cliche, like it took however many years, however many years I'd lived, but like, yeah, I kind of, it went from, and it just represents for me, I'm really proud of it because it represents for me a moment where I was just like, stopped overthinking stuff and just like was happy enough with myself where I was like, this sounds good. Vocals, lyrics, I was like, yeah, like let's put it out. And there's an Andy Warhol quote I really like, I'm gonna slightly misquote him, but it's like, don't think about the reception to the art, just put it out whilst other people are making up their minds, make more art. And it was kind of I feel like since then I've pretty much been on, obviously you have ups, you have wobbles and ups and downs, but since that EP I've kind of been on that I've been practicing that, I guess. And yeah, I think I'm really proud of it. I really like where that was. I also can hear where I wanted to develop, and like,
Yeah.
so yeah, it's
Well, just on that, this latest record in particular, but your whole catalog more broadly incorporates so many different sort of sonic influences, and it captures a very particular kind of atmosphere. Is that something that's premeditated when you go into making an album, or is that revealed to you throughout the creative process?
well, the atmosphere.
Yeah, the sort of feeling or the particular place that a record might take you to.
Yeah, no, I think that's related to what I was saying about just following intuition. And one thing that I want to develop is like, I feel like maybe the atmosphere you mean is this, it can be quite murky, serious and heavy, and that's definitely part of me. But I think I want to also follow the intuition of like lightness and being like, cracking jokes, being like, having fun, like, and so far the intuitive thing has been like the atmospheric, the dark, whatever, moody, all these words that people say, but like, no, it's not. I guess what I'm trying to say is it's not like conscious. It's not too conscious. I'm not like, oh, I'm gonna make a dark, moody album. It's just where it goes, and then like, but I'd also love for it to go in other directions that are also part of me and part of my musical interests as well. So like,
doesn't sound like you're bound by any of these adjectives.
Trying to be bound by anything. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So something I've been thinking about recently as well. What sort of concepts or ideas do you go in with, and what do you leave completely open? And I think mood is something that's gonna, if you put yourself into it, it's gonna come about in a more natural way than going like, I'm gonna make something dark. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, no. I mean, as someone who's never made an album, it all feels pretty abstract to me. So I'm always interested in right. So I'm always interested in asking people in your shoes and in similar about sort of how they go about, how it sort of comes to them. And
I think one thing I follow a lot is just, does it like transform? Does it sort of enliven my imagination and the things that are around me? I mean, I'm sure you know the feeling when you listen to music that you love and everything suddenly becomes exciting and curious and like
Vivid.
yeah, and that for me is something I really follow. Um, yeah.
That's a cool instinct. I first saw you play one sunny afternoon at End of the Road Music
Oh, right.
Festival last year,
Last year, okay.
and it was awesome.
It was sunny and rainy though as well.
A bit of everything
Yeah,
that
yeah,
weekend.
yeah, yeah.
How's it felt taking this latest release into a live setting, and indeed around the world? You know, you're here in Australia.
It's one of my favorite things about what I do for sure is I always think like it starts as like a small idea in my room, and then I'll take it to my friend Jamie and we'll work on it, and then I'll take it to my band, and then I'll take it to the audience. But the process of each of those steps is increasingly like rewarding, I think, because you feel the song interacting with more people, and you feel more people interacting with the song and their interpretation. And so when we like learned the album, I say learn, but like when we learn the album for the tours, it was just really exciting because it changes a lot. I'm sure people who've seen us play live, like it's sonically, it develops, and I feel like that's kind of maybe like a folk instinct. Is just that a song it's a kind of script, so it develops a lot, and like we interpret it differently.
You're allowed to riff and deviate.
Yeah, and like that's just really exciting to me, and it can grow and it can change and become more like jammy or louder or quieter or whatever. And it's just one of my favorite things about it, and especially in then playing live and just feeling, you always have a good feeling about a song if you've taken it to that level, but really the moment when there's people in a room feeling it, experiencing it together is when you know like this works or this feels, it means a lot. It means it's meaningful to me. So
In that, like in a live setting, that the audience are an active participant in the sort of formulation of that interpretation.
I think it completes the circuit. Whilst I don't think about the audience at all when I'm making music, I value the sort of communal experience of sharing it in a room enormously. So it's beautiful. I love playing live. Yeah.
Let's talk about music you like.
Let's do it.
Well, and maybe as a preface, what were some of the things you were listening to when you were making this most recent record?
Well, mostly the record.
Okay, sure.
That's the thing about
making
making music. You often end up just like listening to your own music. But I was listening to a lot of Arthur Russell, Calling Out Context, especially that one. Yeah,
Unreal. Yeah,
it's amazing.
So many dancey songs on that.
Yeah, it's actually a compilation, which I didn't realize. So but it seems so cohesive. I guess like the production on it's just like so fun, and the danciness of it. I don't know, just the sense of like exploration and freedom in it's just incredible.
Yeah, I'm still yet to hear someone play like That's Us in a DJ set or something. But I feel like that would.
I played Make One Too in a. I'm not a DJ by any stretch, but yeah, it's good. It's a good tune.
Great comp. Yeah.
Yeah, and I listen to a lot of Jurity Column.
I can hear that.
Yeah. I love Vinnie Riley.
Yeah. That album, Vinnie Riley, is unreal.
Yeah, incredible. And Guitar and Other Machines was one I was listening to a lot. Totally. I said to you just before we started talking, I find it really hard to talk about music sometimes because it just gets right into me, and like I can't really explain it. Again, like the production, the style of it's like it's cool. I love Bob Dylan and Neil Young, and
was that was that the genus for your harmonica playing?
I suppose no, it didn't. It wasn't a specific. I'm going to reference this, but it did make me feel like I've seen that before. It's in there, and especially the holder, like
very neat.
I knew what that was. I was like, oh, I can do that live because I'd seen Neil do it or Bob Dylan do it, but it was just something I had, like, I think probably Jamie had one in the studio or something, and I just like started playing with it, and it felt, maybe one of the reasons it felt right is because I've been listening to Bob Dylan since I was really young. But also we would, or like yeah, we were treating it with like delays and reverbs, and I was listening to a lot of Augustus Pablo's Dump Melodica guy.
Okay.
And I think I was kind of influenced by that at the time because it was similar tone of instrument, I guess, kind of reedy and like thin. But then if you put a load of reverb and delay on it, it sounds kind of
Wash it out a bit.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So yeah, it was intuitive.
It's funny how music like that just makes its way into your bones, and then it sort of manifests in an interesting way.
Yeah.
Well, just one more from me. If you could play me any album, what would you play me?
Any album? Well, I thought of 3 that I wanted to talk about.
Yeah, let's talk about 3.
Should we do it?
Yeah. What do you got?
I wanted to talk about this album, I'm the One by Annette Peacock.
Okay.
I found it recently. It's really, really amazing. And like I feel like people should seek it out. She's got kind of jazz voice, but it's she's feeding it a lot through like a moog. So it's like a kind of vocoder sound.
Wow.
But it's kind of she's like a kind of, I think she's like a jazz singer. So it's really, really, it's in the early 70s. It's like, I haven't heard anything like it before. I just found it recently, so I'm excited about it.
Sweet. All right. I'll definitely check that out.
I'm the One, Annette Peacock. Yeah, I think Bowie was like a huge fan of it and tried to work with her and stuff, but never got it together. I guess she was too cool for
yeah, maybe.
There's an album called Over Neil by an American singer-songwriter called Diane Cluck.
Okay.
I don't know if you know her.
Not at all.
I just got back onto it recently. I started listening to it a lot when I was like 15. I think she was like loosely, I don't know if you remember like anti-folk.
Yeah.
That scene.
Yeah.
I think she was very loosely affiliated with that. But that album has really stood the test of time for me because it's like really intuitive music. She's got a really beautiful sense of melody. The guitar playing is amazing. And I feel like I don't hear people talking about it enough because I think it's really, really special. And I think she's still releasing music now, and it's all really good. It's all really, really cool. It's all self-released. It's all like very free, very independent.
Sick.
Yeah, she's awesome. She's really good. And the third one is a friend of mine called Samba Jean-Baptiste.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Album called Cardinal, which was a few years ago, 2023, I think. And yeah, like we toured with him in America in November, and yeah, it's like one of the best like self-release kind of underground, I guess, albums that I think's been released in a long time. Like it's really, really special.
Sonically, how would you describe it?
It's kind of singer-songwriter music, so it's like, I think nylon string guitar, beautiful voice, but like little bits of samples and electronics as well.
Cool.
And really special album, yeah. Awesome. Really beautiful.
Mark, thank you so much.
Thanks, man.
It's been an absolute pleasure chatting with you.
Yeah, you too, man.
Thanks, man.